At UFC 264, we were blessed by great performances from people like Tai Tuivasa and Sean O'Malley. It also brought an end to the trilogy of Dustin Poirier and Conor McGregor, but it was an end that nobody could have predicted. Before we get to the main event, we'll talk about the co-main event, a welterweight fight between Gilbert Burns and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Classic jiu-jitsu versus karate fight. Of course, Burns did win by unanimous decision, and I feel like he used the script to beat Wonderboy to perfection. It's not like he wrote the script. Everybody knows Wonderboy, great with the kicks, switches stances really often and very quick. Fights off the jab more than you think because he's so good with those kicks. You just got to put pressure on him. You can't make too much pressure on him because he's going to counter you all day, but enough that, gets him to lead at sometimes, let him take control of the octagon. Early, he was not using the jab very well, and Gilbert was able to put his weight on him and get him down. A little bit better in round 2, but again, the ground and pound was just... Gilbert's a big guy, he's a thick guy. So when he's on top of you, he's doing some damage. And especially at the third round, he got dropped by a wheel kick, beautiful placed wheel kick by Wonderboy. He knew he was down in the fight. Gilbert kind of laughed it off. He laughed because he probably forgot where he was for a second, but he did tough it out, got him down to the end, and had some questionable shots to the back of the head, neck area. I don't know. It didn't really make a difference in the fight, but still, a little suspect if you ask me. But awesome fight for both these guys. Wonderboy's a tough pill to swallow. He's up there, obviously, in the top 5, and he's a perennial top 5. And this always happens, he's going to lose. He's going to fight a couple other guys. He's going to beat them and try to get right back up there. It's a tough position for Burns, though. He had really good success early against Kamaru Usman for that title. Got too excited and got put to sleep. He can't just go back to the title, right? He's going to have to fight. He should fight Colby. That would be a good fight. Maybe Leon Edwards. I don't know about Masvidal. I would prefer to see Colby, I think. But great fight by Burns. Great effort by Wonderboy. Let's talk about the main event. Main event, we had Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor 3, the end of the trilogy. And in case you live under a rock or you actually come to my random YouTube channel for updates on UFC, and if that's the case, shout out to you. Dustin won by first round TKO, aka doctor stoppage, because Conor broke his leg. He broke his ankle. I don't really know yet. Nobody knows yet. All I know, it was gross. We'll start at the beginning. The leg kicks were the story for Dustin in the second round, and the second fight, I should say. And of course, everyone said Conor needs to come out boxing, or not boxing, but kickboxing karate style like he always does. And he did that. Came out hot and heavy early with the karate style, the spinning kicks, and he was beating up the leg a little bit. And then I don't know what happened. They grappled, and Conor decided to jump ghillie, which was ironic because that's what Dustin did against Khabib, and it was his end. And for like a couple seconds, you kind of got excited like he was actually going to nail it. Did not. Dustin came on top. Conor was able to get him with a few elbows on the bottom, but for the most part, maybe like 2.5 minutes, over half the round, I would actually say. Dustin used that ground and pound and elbows and punches from the bottom. They got up. They both missed a punch. Conor stepped back, and his leg kind of just folded in. It was disgusting, really gross. And honestly, as a mixed martial arts fan, that's whether you're a Conor fan, a Dustin fan, or hate them both, love them both. That's kind of heartbreaking to see a trilogy end that way. Especially because how definitive both fights were before. You need an ending, and this wasn't a good one. And it's tough too, because I don't even know where you begin here. First of all, Dustin was kind of being an asshole before the interview or the interviews, doing the Billy strut to Conor on the ground. Like that was kind of disrespectful. And then afterwards, Dustin gets on the mic, starts shit talking Conor. Conor's yelling at him about his wife. Like, I don't know why Conor's bringing up family and all that. I understand it's a fight, you got to sell it, but when you're down there with a broken leg, stop talking about his wife in your DMs. Dustin got a little upset about the whole "I'm going to kill you" in their talk, which is fine. If they're yelling at each other back and forth down there, whatever. But the fight itself is what we really wanted, and unfortunately, we got a good first round. It was a clear Dustin round, I think. I know it was a clear Dustin round. It's just a tough break, right? And you got to think, where do you go from here, right? Obviously, Dustin's getting the title shot against Oliveira. That's going to be a hell of a fight. But is this the end of Conor? How do you come back from this? He's not that old, but he hasn't won he won the Cowboy fight, but a meaningful fight has what was his last meaningful fight win? Eddie Alvarez. That was 2015, 2016. It's tough, maybe the title path's over, and the future for Conor is those fun name fights like the Nate Diaz's and dare I say Diego Sanchez of the world. I don't know. I mean, you could see a fourth fight coming down the road, but again, it's going to be tough. If Dustin goes on to win the title, if Conor's out, God, we'll say at least a year, minimum a year. Who knows what the division's going to look like then, right? It's just a tough break for him. Again, whether you love him or hate him, or love Dustin or hate Dustin, it's tough. It was terrible to see them both being actually just acting like complete idiots after the fight. And also, like, we always talk about, or at least I always talk about, how stupid it is when they get Joe Rogan to interview guys who just got knocked out. Who decided to interview this man on the ground with a broken ass leg? Like, you know how much shock he's in? I mean, he didn't, and he just talked about his wife and his deal. That was stupid. Anyways, I digress. I mean, it was a good first round. Dustin claimed that he broke a check and a kick. They did some replays, and I kind of watched DC and Joe Rogan talk about it. Joe being a big Conor fan and DC being from the same town as the Dustin, they're both super biased about whether it happened or not. Who's to say? Maybe we'll find out in the future, but tough break, and honestly a tough way to end this trilogy. Well, if you watch this whole video, I appreciate you watching it. Again, UFC 264 was from the prelims all the way down was a great card. Just a terrible way for it to end. I mean, listen, I'm gonna be honest. Dustin said it best. Karma is not a bitch. She's a mirror. I really hope I really hope Conor comes back healthy, first of all, and heals up well. B, I hope he comes back a little bit more humble. Even in his earlier days, you could see that he would, say what he had to say against Jose Aldo, but he wouldn't get super personal in terms of wives and family and stuff. And afterwards, he would be humble about it, and that's the Conor we need back. If anyone can do it, it's him. But I don't know. The leg was pretty destroyed. Again, DP, congratulations to Dustin. A great win. He's going to go on to fight Oliveira for the title. I think he's going to take that fight, but we'll see. Shout out to the rest of the fighters. That was one hell of a card. Shout out to you if you watch this video. See you next time.